Such a beautiful day. Such a beautiful day.
We're back. Crazy day today. Getting everything ready. Power and shit went out at work. Power and shit went out here. The wind has been crazy. The craziest I've ever seen in my life. So I just want to let everybody know, if I totally get off, it's because power went out again. If everything just cuts out, it's because of that. How is everybody doing? We are back yet again on a Friday night, 7 o'clock. Although it's interesting because of daylight savings, it's daytime out, which is always just a weird vibe. It's been dark out every time I've come live, and now it's bright as shit out, so it's just weird. I guess it's more like 6 o'clock. We're doing this more like 6 o'clock. Yeah, the wind where I'm at is going 35 miles an hour now. Yeah, dude, I literally lost. I got out of the car when I got home and just lost everything. Everything just went, and I was like, my hat flew off, everything. I was like, what the I was literally punching the fucking wind, bro. I was punching that shit. But anyways, we're a little, you know, ravished. We're a little nonplussed, right? We're a little bit off trying to get everything together. But to be honest, look, I don't want to say it's not going to be a good show. It's going to be fun. We're going to have a great night. But there really isn't a whole lot to talk about. Really isn't a whole lot going on in the world. Other than the basic Iran shit, you know, we got some AI, we got Sam Altman, we got some new Alex Karp clips we're going to be going through. We got Andrew Wilson, some Joe Rogan stuff, Candace, my girl, my black queen. We're going to go through some of her shit, some of her clips from her most recent streams. I'm sorry, girl. I don't have the patience to sit there and watch your whole hour monologue, your schizo babble. I don't have the patience for that. So we got some clips of her, so we're going to check out. Should be a good stream. You know, I'm looking forward to it. Getting through all this with you guys tonight. But before we get into any of that stuff, please subscribe to me on YouTube. Jake, I'm on YT. We're 288 subscribers. We're 12 away from 300. I'm trying to hit that goal before May. Hopefully before the end of the month. That would be even better. But particularly for May, because I want to rub it in my uncle's face when I see him. My uncle said he's only going to subscribe once I hit 300 subscribers. I saw him a while ago, and he asked me how many subs I was at. I said I was at like 270, and he was like, oh, that sucks. I was like, you try it, dude. You try doing this shit. He said, I'll subscribe when you hit 300. So we got to hit 300 before I see him so I can rub his face in it. I can force him to subscribe to me and say, Uncle Rob, look. I'll show him. I'll hold the phone up to him. I'll do the Clockwork Orange, like, look at it. So we got to get 300. Also, follow me on X, Jake, I'm on YT. Same exact thing. Easy to remember. Hit follow on there. Helps me out a ton. And you can keep updated with me. You can also keep updated with me on posts. Right here, I post when I'm going live, what's going on. Like, I didn't have a video. Editing that Elijah Schaefer video was a nightmare. And it took me like 2 days to do it. And usually if I'm not done by like 7:30, 8-ish editing, I'm like, dude, I'll finish it tomorrow. But yeah, you can keep updated with me on posts. You can keep updated with me on X. And yes, please give me a subscribe. It's all I ask. There's nothing else. I don't ask for money. I don't ask for your allegiance. I don't ask for anything other than you to hit one little button. But anyways, let's turn this down a bit. It's been a slow week. It really has. Other than the usual, the War on Terror, Take 2, Part 2. This one is going to be even more fun. We're back for more action-packed Middle Eastern adventure. Let's go. And now we're putting boots on the ground, right? Isn't that happening? Didn't he say that? Trump just said he deployed Marines in Iran. I think 5,000 is what they said. All right, 2,500. It looks like this one says, this post, for an expeditionary unit. Captive Dreamer, all the Bapsphere bums on X saying, "Oh, he'll never." You know, these people who shill for Trump on X, man. These people are a part of it's a literal cult, and I know like that was like I think the MAGATs and the red hat cult and all this shit. You know, the left used to say that for years, but like it literally is now. It's like, okay, that was just bullshit, like party politics when they used to make fun of us like that. But like now it's actually turning into a cult where you people are sucking the teat of Trump no matter what he does. He's not doing anything for us. And people are still shilling him. And it's just not excuse after excuse. The Bapsphere, the captive dreamers on X will be like, okay, he did in a strike on Iran, but it was limited back in June or whenever that was. Look, we got out. We're good. There's no war. Now they're doing this special military operation. Now it's like, well, it's not a war, even though like the whole administration is like flip-flopping on, well, it is a war. Sometimes it's a special military thing. And it's like, and now they're like, but okay, fine. Maybe it is a war, but there's no boots on the ground. And it's like, all right, well, when are we going to say that this is an absolutely captured administration? The Zionists, man, I think largely it's like the MAGA movement, and I've said this before, but the MAGA movement wasn't organic, wasn't an original thing. I think it had aspirations. I think Trump was tapping into something that people felt, and people did vote for him, and they legitimately liked him, and they legitimately wanted the movement to succeed. But at some point, I don't want to say at some point, really, it was through the years and years of lawfare and basically threatening to lock him up, like Alex Jones detailed recently. He's off the Trump bandwagon now, MAGA movement, MAGA train, whatever, Trump train. He's off that, but he said, I had to do it. I had to be on this person's side because I was going to get thrown in jail. The Democrats were pushing to throw me in jail. Same thing happened with Trump and the MAGA movement. They pressured him to try to bankrupt him until he had to take deals. He had to settle. He had to do what he had to do, I guess. Also, I mean, assassination, I don't know, man. If that was legit, you know, I have my reservations on that. But if it was legit, that could also be like, hey, we're just going to fucking blow your shit smooth off if you don't do what we want. But this whole movement has just been captured. And it's cooked. And if you're shilling for this shit, you're captured as well. You're being paid by Peter Thiel. Bear with me. I'm trying to get this set up. I'm trying to get this page set up. But yeah, we're a little off this evening, and it's probably not going to be that long of a show. I'm probably not going to go hours and hours and hours into the night. But we'll make do. We'll make do with what we got. All right, so let's turn this down. First things first, we have to have our update on Elijah Schaffer. We've been covering his story the last, I mean, how long? It's been probably like a month now. His whole drama with Sarah Stock and his breakdown of his marriage and Milo, you know, the beefs with him on the TL. And his response, that was what came out last week. It was 2 hours. It was a 2-hour response that, you know, you don't have to watch it. We did that for you. I did that for you. And I broke it down, basically the most interesting, fun parts of it and what the overall message was. So you don't have to. We did it for you. Okay. You're welcome. But now he's back posting more. He's doubling down. Like I said, he's doubling down, tripling down. He's now turning to the Groypers, turning towards the red pill manosphere type. I don't even know the network of the internet. Still holding on, kind of retaining on to this Christian element too, which is you know, there's some hope there for me. I think somebody in a situation like this, you can use it to propel you into something, maybe a more moral life. But yeah, we're back again. He posted this video. I have not seen this, so I have no idea what it is, but it's already looking promising. We got to have our Elijah update. I know, and they've been doing pretty good in the algo. That people seem to be liking it, the coverage. So we're gonna keep on, we're gonna keep on checking them out. And it's just interesting for me too, because this whole saga is just like unfolding, right? We'll see how he does as well with his allegiance to Nick Fuentes and the Groypers, and we'll see how that pans out for him. We'll see how that works. We'll see how long Nick and the Groypers will go before they and I don't want to say it's going to be 100% a guarantee, but when they eventually turn on him, I feel like that's what happens to all these people who come around. They eventually turn on him. And if Elijah can't figure out his shit and get his shit together, there might be a time in the future where they eventually eat him. They eat him alive. So we'll see when we'll cover that too.
Okay, we're back after the Jews destroyed Rift TV. This is
hang on. What is he smoking? What the fuck is that? It looks like a Swisher.
Okay, we're back after the Jews destroyed Rift TV. This is Elijah. We're going to get some cigars.
Yeah, we got some money back in the account. The Jews didn't win, so come with us as we show you what the real life of luxury looks like in dissident conservative media.
Hey, where are we going?
A day in the life.
Cigar shop?
Yes, sir.
Of a divorced bum. Suffer, Elijah, yeah. Smoking on that quiet pack.
Cigars?
Bro's smoking on that quiet pack.
Cigar review, as promised, vlog number 1, Rift TV Lifestyle Edition. We got our brand new cigars from the
they are Swishers.
French brand, Swisher. Padrones have been nice. I mean, hey, it was like kind of cool smoking $30 to $40 cigars whenever I wanted to. But I never had a chance to try one of these. My friend said, we can still keep up the mainstream media lifestyle on our new budget with this new French brand. I actually have had one of these open with.
Chat. Have you ever seen a single soul smoke a Swisher? Raw dog a Swisher. Have you ever seen somebody do that? I've never in my life seen somebody smoke one of those. Why on God's green earth would that be a cigar choice? Exactly. What I always see people, they buy them and they rip them up and then they smoke a blunt. I've never seen anybody smoke one raw.
Weed when I was a teenager. Wow, they're light. They have extra uses. What's really cool about this cigar as well is you don't even have to waste your money on a cutter because they're pre-cut. So like this thing, you don't need that. Light. Is it like a blunt? Or like the little? I wouldn't know what a blunt is, but.
Right. He doesn't know what a blunt is.
Well, they don't take that long. They don't take that long. They don't take that long to light.
What do you think?
What the fuck? That's not a cigar, dude.
What are you talking about?
You told me those are. I'm not even joking.
Yeah, what?
You told me these are cigars. These are like. It's like candles or something. It's got aroma. It's really good. I really am enjoying the new.
Elijah is now in his bum phase. He is now in his cigar review bum phase. His 99-cent 2-pack, 99-cent review of cigars. Swisher Sweets, he says.
Budget.
Dude, we fucking made it.
This is wonderful. After his divorce and his downfall, he is now in his bum phase. We'll be on the lookout for cigarettes. We'll be on the lookout for Newport menthol reviews next. I'm currently just rebuilding my studio after having to move again. Show returns soon. Swisher maxing in the meantime. It's a great life. I bet you wish you were me. Nah, bro. I think I'm good on that. No, bro. I think I am okay with that bum lifestyle. Oh, 2 for $139. Dude, I remember when they were 2 for $99. Yo, old heads in chat, remember when they were 2 for $99. I didn't think it was possible. You somehow managed to make you and Sarah actually look worse, dude. You cheated on the mother of your children, destroyed your marriage, and you have shown no remorse. Yeah, dude. I think that's like a large part of it is like the absolute like SSRI induced, not even giving a shit, no remorse, nothing, no emotional. Nobody's saying you gotta like cry on camera, but it just seems like you're just on to the next thing, push forward, on to the next thing. Now we're doing Switch reviews. And you're just like, it was the same thing with Nala Ray, if you guys remember, you like last summer, whenever she quit OnlyFans and converted to Christianity and she began to do her tour and she was on Michael Knowles and all this shit. Still getting this nonstop coverage. There just seems to be like, and I don't seem to be the only one who thinks this, but I feel as though the public people, when there's, you're in doing such like a heinous thing, they're almost just like a thirst for people who watch you. There's a thirst for them to say like, look, dude, there has to be some sort of repentance, some sort of penance, some sort of, there has to be remorse that has to be shown on a person for them to just go to the next thing. I mean, Nala Ray's situation, she literally started selling courses, Christian courses. And it was like, you couldn't, it was hard for somebody to say that wasn't just on to the next grift. On to the next grift. Now I'm going to take advantage of the Christian community in this country. Which this like weird Protestant, like zero barrier to entry sect that these people jump into. It's like, what does that even mean? What does it even mean to be Christian, right? Well, I just said it and now I'm doing it and now I'm wearing the cross and I'm out there and now I am a leader. Now I am some sort of person to look to. I am an expert in this domain. I am a theologian. You can buy my courses. $5 a month or whatever the hell it was. And you're like, something here just seems weird where it's like you flip right to that. It's like, does nobody see any? No. You have to take it authentically. It's what it is. There's no grifting. Nothing at all. And I remember when he did that stream with Dick, Dick was kind of like, well, maybe we shouldn't be so harsh on her. And I could see people saying that, like, if she is trying to be a repentant Christian, is she trying to turn her ways? Okay. And then you compared it to Roosh. Roosh V was like a ladies' man back in the day, right? He wrote all these books about sex and then he became an Orthodox Christian. But now Roosh is gone, right? He's like off the internet completely. And you do feel like, okay, there is a sense of closure in the public where we're thinking like, okay, this guy, and you don't owe us anything. I'm not saying that, but like to tell us, to show us that it's an actual authentic change, there has to be some sort of outward expression of a change. You don't just say it and then nominally say, I'm now in the Christian category, I'm good. Now, Christ forgives you, right? You could be redeemed in those ways. But publicly, it's like, this is just seems, it seems unrepentant. It seems unremorseful. It doesn't seem like there's an actual change here. And nobody can really, we only see you externally. We don't actually know what's going on in your inner life. But if you're a public figure and you have eyes on you. So if you're going to come out and make this declaration that you are now turning, there has to be some sort of external change for us to know if you're going to be a public figure. If you're somebody who's going about your life and you made this change and you now are a Christian, you're turning your ways. Great. That's great. But the fact that it's public and there is a sense of like media grifting going on, there has to be something further than just saying it and then start selling your courses. It's like, I don't know. To me, it's just like, that's the bar is like, non-existent for these people. But to me, it's like, if you're going to do this thing, if you're going to make it that this is your lifestyle, this is who you are, this is authentic conversion, there has to be some sort of external change. People want to see more self-reflection or else they don't seem human. Yeah. It doesn't seem authentic. I'm calling it. He's definitely going to be reviewing cigarettes like Jacob Jones. What does he do? He does like smoking Newports and drinking a Michelob Ultra in the park at 4 p.m. Doesn't he do those videos? I've never actually watched one of his videos, but I always see like the screenshots of them. Commits a grave sin worthy of stoning. Well, I don't know if I'd go that far. Elijah, I'm a victim of the Jews. Yeah, and then there's that whole thing where it's just like, we talked about that too, where you just want to bundle up all this shit into one, and you can extrapolate both of these things. Say, okay, I do think there is a political motive. The Zionists probably want to tear down somebody who is anti-Israel, anti-Jewish in a lot of ways, anti-Semitic in a lot of ways. But at the same time, you in your personal life, you did something bad. These things are, you know, you can extrapolate both those things and say, hey, these things are happening at the same time, which was basically what I came to, is that he has all these personal problems as a public figure. That face as a public figure, he has all these personal problems that came out in one way, you know, in nefarious ways or not. It's like, but is it true though? It is true. He didn't deny any of it. And that's like, okay, we can sit there and shit on that and say that's bad, and it's bad for you to have done that. But at the same time, we can also say, yeah, the Israel Zionists want to take you down, and that's wrong too. I think that there's elements to both of these sides where it's like, I agree with you, Elijah, on that front, on that take. Like, yeah, these people want to get you, but at the same time, you did something wrong. Okay, that's the Elijah portion. We're going to move along. I don't know if anybody saw this. Andrew Wilson's being Me Too'd in the big 2K26. I thought Me Too was long gone. I thought it was dead, but I guess it's not. I don't even know who this woman is. I guess she was on the whatever podcast. I know her. That's that not so erudite chick, which is really funny because Andrew has debated her like, I don't even know, half a dozen times. And every time she just seems like she just comes out looking like a fool. So it's just funny that she's coming to one of his debate opponents, a foil in the debate sphere for Andrew, and offloading all this nonsense, which I haven't seen this clip, but we'll have to see what she says. And obviously Andrew's denying it. Brian's corroborating with him, and there's actually maybe a lawsuit in the works. So let's check this out.
He's a rapist. Andrew Wilson's a rapist. I saw.
Okay. Right off the rip, the accusation isn't he touched me inappropriately. He was flirting with me in an inappropriate manner. He said something. It is just full blown. Andrew Wilson is a rapist. Full blown. He's a rapist. The only raping I've ever seen him do is in debates. I have not witnessed any raping from Andrew Wilson. I have not witnessed any physical raping, only verbal raping. But that's a crazy claim to just off the rip. He's a rapist. So that's extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. So let's see what she had. Let's see what kind of evidence she has.
Did you sit with Andrew Wilson? That's one thing I would disagree with you doing, which is interesting. Like maybe that's the
like
where the
talking
debate
to Andrew
will
Wilson
happen. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
I just worry immediately for your safety in that moment because of the fact that he's a rapist. Andrew Wilson's a rapist. I mean, he's admitted on live streams before on his podcast that he doesn't really believe in what he understands the modern version of consent to look like. And his entire career is built upon a foundational premise that you get clicks by bullying underage girls or women who are underqualified to speak about political problems. And I'm not saying that that's you. I actually don't think that is you at all. And I think that he went out on a limb when he debated you because that's not usually the type of person that he would engage with. But like, I think that that's for the men. I think Andrew Wilson is for the men to tackle because his audience are so. I mean, I've probably watched 20 hours or more of his podcast, and I've been approached before to come on whatever, and I just said no because I don't think there's any winning, and that's So I would want you to speak to your experience of that because I was frankly not gonna go and sit in a room with a bunch of men who don't believe in consent. I was spooked.
Yeah, it feels. Correct me if I'm wrong. it feels like a commentary on platforming in general. And I have very mixed thoughts about platforming. And maybe you disagree. Maybe it is not a platforming. And so correct me. Am I misunderstanding you and saying it somewhat feels
maybe
like
a little.
Okay.
Maybe a little, because I'm not big on the argument of you platforming, you're legitimizing these ideas. I think that that's actually a really complex and nuanced topic that people slap a big thought terminating cliche on. You're legitimizing, you're doing this. I was genuinely just worried that a woman was engaging in the debate. I think that in this instance, when it comes to men like this, it should be a man who engages in that particular debate. And also, I was literally worried for your physical safety. I'm worried for the physical safety of the women who go in person to these podcast environments. I've heard horror stories of them forcing you to film for 8-9 hours and then promising you reimbursement, but then they're dragging out the debate until they get until they're satisfied, and only then will they reimburse
That's
you.
true.
And people have been stranded out.
That's true. Brandon, bro, not Brandon. Wow, Brian, bro. Brian literally has a way. I don't know how the hell I'll turn on. I've watched whatever podcast before, and it's like I'll turn it on. It's like 8 o'clock. Oh, it starts. I've gotten up before, and it's still on in the morning. I'm like, this shit's gone for 10, 11 hours. His podcasts are way too long. I think that shit is crazy. I feel like it's like 4 hours max. If you're having a podcast that's longer than 4 hours, it's like, man, that shit's got to be brutal. Sitting in that same room for that long. I remember when Jay Dyer went on there, he said the same thing. He's like, I'm stuck in this stuffy ass room. It's hot as hell in there. And I'm cramped in with all these women, and it's just like the worst. He said it was like hell. And I believe it is. It probably is like hell. He probably wants it to be like that because he wants people to be on edge. He wants them to be sweating and hungry. He doesn't feed them either half the time. Like, holy man. So I agree with her on that he creates the conditions for an argument for sure.
The desert, trying to get back home because of I've heard horror stories.
I don't know what she's talking
women.
about.
Obviously,
the physical though. Like, this isn't fresh and fit, dog. The physical safety. I don't know. I mean, maybe has there been a lot of brawls on the whatever podcast?
But women who've spoken to me personally about their experiences, and none of them have been good. So I disagreed with you going because I was just thinking, oh, what is she doing? Nothing to do with platforming, you know?
Yeah. So I suppose in my experience, I have a pretty decent working relationship with Brian Atlas, the host. He repaid me, so we negotiated ahead of time that he was going to pay for travel and stay, and he reimbursed me within 24 hours. So I had no reimbursement issues. Afterwards, he offered to take me out for food. He got food on set, but I've definitely never felt for even a second physically under threat from either of these individuals, like in no way, shape, or form. In fact,
I was going to say, what? Just completely disputed her claim right there. Like, what is she even talking about? She said, I've heard things from other women. Okay. Are women incapable of lying? Like, what? Or feeling that, it's like you feel nasty about a certain appearance you had or a certain conversation you had. Which I mean, these people
He's a
are
rapist.
These people are, they get nasty with it. Not in a good way. They get nasty with it, and it's like you leave there feeling kind of salty about your appearance, and then you just say crazy shit. It's not, like a woman's experience on the show isn't clouded at all by like negative emotions. No, none of that. She pretty much said women aren't capable of debating you, so let's Me Too them. Yeah, what the hell? I don't even understand the logic there. Isn't this defamation and then some? Yeah, I mean, dude, that's a crazy accusation to say. Chick on the right is super unlikable. Hey, at least she kind of like defended him. She disputed that claim. She said she never had any problems. This is a crime in the UK, even if she doesn't report you to the police. Seriously, you should contact a lawyer. Yeah, dude, she is in the UK, and I know their speech laws there are way more serious than ours. That's interesting. Grok says you have 125 to 140 IQ. That is really high, man. Congrats. Grok is wrong. I have an average IQ. Interesting. 100% of every dude should follow the Pence rule. Yeah, honestly, people called out Pence for that, where he said he never goes into a room alone with another woman. He always has his wife with him. And the older I get, the more I go, yeah, I think that might be a good rule to live by, actually. I think actually he said he's never in a room alone with a woman. Maybe he doesn't have to have his wife with him, but he always has another person there. Which is because then you get these situations. And I don't even think Andrew was ever in the room alone with her. She never even said that. She's honestly, her argument was just, some girls have said some stuff to me negatively about Andrew. Like, what the hell did she even say? What was her evidence for this?
Stands the modern version of consent to look like, and he
the consent thing, like, I guarantee that she's misconstruing what he means here about consent.
On a foundational premise that you get clicks by bullying underage girls or women who are underqualified to speak about political problems. And I'm not saying that that's you. I actually don't think that that is you at all. And I think that he went out on a limb when he debated you, because that's not usually the type of person that he would engage with. But like, I think
he engages with like everybody, dude. I've seen him debate like thousands of people. He only debates like underage girl. What did she say? Young chicks? Like, what?
That's for the men. I think Andrew Wilson is for the men to tackle, because his audience are so. I mean, I've probably watched 20 hours or more of his podcast, and I've been approached before to come on whatever, and I just said no, because
so she hasn't even been there. What is this? This is ridiculous.
Any winning, and that's So I would want you to speak to your experience of that, because I was frankly not going to go and sit in a room with a bunch of men who don't believe in consent. I was spooked.
A bunch of men. Isn't the show like 10 women and like 2 guys? It's like Brian, the producer, and then usually another male debater, and then a bunch of women. It's usually like 10 to 1.
It feels, correct me if I'm wrong, it feels like a commentary on platforming in general. And I have
no, it's not. It's not. This lady's just an emotional wreck.
Moment, because of the fact that he's a rapist. Andrew Wilson's a rapist. I mean, he's admitted on live streams before on his podcast that he doesn't really believe in what he understands the modern version of consent to look like. And
I don't even know what that means. What is the modern version of consent? What is Andrew's version of consent? Andrew has said that he believes in doing the legal definition of rape and has non-consensual sex with his wife. I'm excited to see this lawsuit when it comes of it. Brian Atlas says, I will be pursuing a lawsuit against Tilly Middlehurst for numerous libelous comments. Further, I strongly encourage Andrew Wilson to pursue his own legal claims against this liar. Her false and fabricated claims that Andrew Wilson is a rapist are defamation per se. It's despicable that leftists must resort to such egregious slander without a second thought. To so casually, falsely accuse someone of rape is terrifying. She was too much of a coward to debate Andrew Wilson, so instead resorts to pathetic attacks and false accusations. This woman has zero credibility. I would strongly encourage any men, professional or otherwise, to stay far away from this woman, given her propensity for baseless false accusations. She was also a nightmare dealing with when we were attempting to book her for a debate with Andrew Wilson. Awful attitude, total diva. They have a consensual arrangement between them as a married couple that they give consent to being woken up with sex. Did you even watch the whole conversation? Oh, that's it in a marriage? That's a little different than just rape out on the streets. Don't think I know who these people are. Well, you're about to find out. You don't know who Andrew Wilson is? Rachel says, Andrew has been granted my Let's take 2. Rachel Wilson says, Andrew has been granted my permanent unconditional consent. Mind your own business and stop ruining my fun, creep. 2, 9 times out of 10, I'm the one chasing Andrew around the house and giving him good mornings. Am I a rapist? What does with these freaks shame? Okay, so this is so the lady's claim was that Andrew doesn't believe in consent in the modern version, but Andrew says the consent thing is about him being in a marriage with his wife, and Rachel comes on here to say, no, I'm okay with it. So there is consent. So what the hell's the problem here? He's talking about marital rape, I guess. I don't know. But even still, that doesn't. I think this claim is crazy because she's not talking about his wife. First of all, she's making a claim about what other girls have told her. So random women, and she doesn't even have any evidence of that. She just said some women have said some negative things about him. Okay, I don't know. Totally crazy. I think I would sue the shit out of her if I was him. Anyways, all right, let's move on. Let's move along. So now we get into Alex Karp here. We haven't talked about Alex Karp in a while. CEO of Palantir, obviously. We know the gist with all that. The technocracy alive and well in this country. It's coming to fruition. But he basically rips into the Palantir conspiracy theorists. He says, you're attacking the wrong person who's protecting you, idiot. You may hate this, but there's only one person protecting your rights to be a conspiracy theorist that actually has a seat at the table, and that person is me. What? So is he saying all the other tech CEOs, they don't actually believe in free speech and the conspiracy theorist's right to say what they want? Which is a scary thought to think about. Because they're all out there vying for Department of War contracts and government contracts and subsidies. So you may not want to hear the truth, but it's fucking true. Maybe do a little more reading before you pontificate on your absurd and obviously ill-formed and many times stupid opinions. It's like fucking so stupid.
Conspiracy theorists, you may hate this, but there's one person protecting your right to be a conspiracy theorist. You may hate this, but there's one person protecting your right to be a conspiracy theorist that actually has a seat at the table, and that person is me. You may not want to hear that truth, but it is fucking true. And
thank you,
maybe
Alex
do
Karp.
a little more reading before you pontificate on your absurd and obviously ill-informed and many times stupid opinions. Okay, so because like you're attacking the person who's protecting you, idiot. It's like fucking so stupid. Conspiracy theorists, you may hate this, but there's one person.
I don't understand. What is that? You're not a CEO of a tech company is not supposed to be out there white knighting and protecting us, right? It's supposed to be the Constitution and ultimately God who we derive these rights from. We don't need some guy who's going to intrude on every facet of our lives to say, hey, this stuff's going to be incredibly close to home and it's going to be ruling every facet of your life. Mass surveillance and controlling the financial system and automated drones. But I'm the guy who's running it. And don't worry, I have your best interests. I'm looking out for you. Like, nobody asked you to do that. Nobody asked for any of this shit. But as we all know, we have to do it because we have to beat China. We have to beat the rest of our enemies are doing it. Our enemies are going to do it if we don't do it. Like, we wouldn't even need to have this conversation if the technocracy wasn't going to be this all-invasive control mechanism.
What else would be a part of the good outcome?
Well,
Reskilling.
the most important part of a good outcome is we show our adversaries you can't fuck with us.
What else goes
And all this language, man, you know, you're supposed to kind of read into it what you want, right? When he says that, our adversaries, oh, well, that's obviously China. That's obviously Russia. That's obviously Al-Qaeda. Some bad guy out there in the middle of nowhere. But, you know, you can say that your adversaries are actually domestic. You can say that people of the far right or even the far left now, they're actually our enemies, and we're going to clamp down on their speech and their ability to do anything. Their ability to drive, their ability to use their credit cards, their banking systems. We're going to deplatform these people off the face of the earth and silence them completely. As we've actually seen before, even before all this technocracy is taking off. Years ago, we've seen Nick Fuentes. That happened to him. Whether you like him or not, he's just talking. He just has a talk show. And he can't fly. He can't go to banking. Various banking platforms have banned him. He wasn't on any. He was relegated to using DLive, which is like a Chinese platform. Barely scraping by. Then he had to make his own platform. Cozy TV, AF.live. Yeah. And it's like you're just being chased around by the corporate elite for saying no words. And now everything seems okay. Everybody's like, oh yeah, now it's all good. But I suspect that all this that we're posting online, the freedom of speech we have online, is really just data harvesting, is largely what it is, I think. But that was even before all the solidification of society into an AI stack. That was before all that. That was before the technocracy, and that was happening. So if they have streamlined it and make it even easier just to flip one switch, deplatform you off of everything, they could flip you into it. You're now in the adversary realm. You have said things we don't like about Israel. You have said things we don't like about the elite, about capitalism, about whatever. Guess what? You're done. You are no longer a human being. You have no longer have the ability to live your life. And with everything becoming more increasingly connected, your smart meters, your smart cars, your electric vehicles now being connected to a hub. I mean, cars now built after 2026 are going to have an automatic off switch that are implanted in them that people can turn off at will. But it's to prevent drunk driving, you see. It's to prevent drunk driving. Just like the IDs that we're going to have, or digital IDs are there to prevent children having access to pornography, right? Now you have to keep giving over more and more and more of your rights, of your civil liberties as an individual to the technate, because they just keep impressing upon us technologies, and it keeps getting closer and closer and closer. And the more and more we give over ourselves to these market creations, these market forces, the closer and closer the restrictions will come. We're like 1 or 2 steps away from having chips in our brains, from transhumanism. That's allowing the market, allowing these people that much into you, in your body. Like, we're pretty close now. Technology is pretty close now. This hive mind technologies are pretty close now with smart meters and the such and the like. With banking, digital banking, right? But even in the near future, it's going to be even closer. It's just continual encroaching of technology on our personal lives, which then will require closer and closer solutions to these problems, man. This is something that Kaczynski wrote about, you know? The more technology comes out, the more problems it creates without really sufficiently solving the problems it was intending to solve. The internet was supposed to solve, communication. And what did it do? It proliferated pornography. Well, then, that's another problem. Well, then we can't have children watching that stuff, even though we've basically dosed 2 entire generations with that shit. Well, that's a problem. So now we have to invent another solution. We have to tack on another technological solution to this technological problem. And it's just going to keep on rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling until you have nothing. You have no liberties at all.
By the way, I'm on stage, and I know a lot of the people on stage sponsoring this are skeptical of me. You know why? I'm on stage here because
I'm on stage
at Palantir, and I would encourage you to think of this. I divide the world into Palantir, essentially Palantir derangement syndrome, Palantir skeptics, and Palantir haters. My biggest fans started off as Palantir skeptics and Palantir haters. I believe that someday almost everyone in this audience is going to agree with me. You may not like me now, but you're going to agree later. I'll also tell you something. Look to the left, look to the right. The person you think is offended by this actually agrees with me. That is 100% true. By the way, I'm on...
These people kiss your feet now because they see the power of what's coming. Yeah, I want to be in your good graces because I don't want to be obliterated later down the line. Holy based. Yo, holy based. My king, Alex Karp.
Look, we built PG, which single-handedly stopped the rise of the far right in Europe. We built Foundry, which was used to distribute the COVID vaccine and saved millions of lives globally. Look, we built PG.
Well, it crushed the rise of the far right in Europe. But did the people want a more right-wing figure? Is that what people want? No, don't worry about that. We're just going to crush them. If we don't like their politics, if we don't like who they are, if they don't play ball with us, with the tech elite, with the capitalist elite, well, guess what? We just crush them, silence them completely, and they will have no shot in any election ever. That's like the opposite of what you're saying, espousing here, dude. Freedom, democracy, voting for who the people want. No, none of that. Why does he sound like that? Because he's on drugs. Because he's methed up, man. He is methed up.
Everybody's worried about like their future, but there are basically two ways to know you have a future. One, you have some vocational training. Okay. So it's like, or two, you're neurodivergent, and when I say neurodivergent, I mean broadly defined. Like, your guys are sitting here. You could have had a corporate tool job. Yeah. You could have been like, I don't want to pick on Goldman, but like just say, you know, like a job.
I applied there. They turned me down.
Well, yeah. See,
I did work at Citadel for
whatever.
a little bit,
Anyways, you could have,
I'm sure he did.
A job where you're like
he tried and failed.
It's like, yeah, no, actually, maybe they didn't know the right way to test.
Yeah.
Like it's like, yeah, they were like you know, and whatever. I'm not picking on one or the other. But I'm just saying, you know. You are probably here. You think you're here because but it's actually you probably wouldn't have been able to do that shit because there's like it's the same thing as sit down in class and learn some bullshit, like and you just regurgitate it. Like that's not a valuable thing. If you are actually have insights into anything and you have real technical expertise, like you know you can look at a company, but you actually can look at it because you know something about how these things work or something about how clients work. You know, then all the other stuff that used to be precious, like being able to do low-end coding, being able to do low-end lawyering, being able to do low-end reading and writing. I mean, this is like, I feel like Odin came down and was like, I'm going to make the world just right for a dyslexic. it's like, yeah, Odin has come down from, or Loki has come down and said, you know what, Karp, you suffered so much as a kid. Yeah. I'm just going to make the whole world, so everyone else can suffer. I don't want that. It's like now, but it's really an inversion. Like, everybody with like the normal shape skills are dyslexics because like meaning the thing they can do that used to be valuable is not so valuable. The thing that they need to learn to do is like be more of an artist, look at things from a different direction, be able to build something unique.
Shopify.
Okay, so let me get this straight. So for years and years, we have been diminishing the humanities. In our college systems, we've been diminishing the humanities and encouraging people to get into STEM, right? Science, technology, engineering, mathematics, right? We've been encouraging people to go into STEM for the last probably, 30, 40 years or more. And now that we've built the system and now it's up and running and now it's there to replace us, and he's pushing those people out who have built the system, and he's saying, you should be an artist. Remember learn to code? Remember when we were telling truckers to learn to code and that was like so offensive? Now he's saying learn to be an artist. You can't make this shit up. You cannot make this shit up. The thing that we told people would be so valuable. It's so valuable to learn this stuff. The The coding, the basic, what did he say? The vocational shit, the going to school and learning the stuff. That stuff's not, that's out of it. That's out of here. You got to learn how to look and think about stuff in a different way. The thing that we've belittled people to do, the humanities department, the philosophy department, the arts, these things which we have basically paid people nothing to do. We've encouraged nobody to go into. We've told them it's a waste of time. Go into STEM so you can build this AI demon god. Now that the demon god's basically here, well, we're going to tell people, we're going to spit in their faces and tell them, no, yeah, you need to go be an artist. It's crazy. And I don't even think the vocational shit is going to matter. What's going to happen? We're all going to go and we're going to be electricians. We're all going to be bricklayers. We're all going to flood that market. And then for how long? How long are we going to do that for? Another 10, 15 years? And then they're going to say, hey, we got the automatic bricklayer 9000 over here who can do the job 10 times faster. We don't need bricklayers anymore. Okay, everybody funnels into electricians. Well, we got the electrician maker 9000. Guess what? We don't need it. So we all fun. We're just going to play this game until everything is taken. I feel like people want to act like they talk about things right now. Like he's talking about things right now. Well, I could just go I can go into a trade. And it's like, dude, no. You're not thinking about the logic of where they're taking us. The logic of where we're taking us is there are no jobs. They're all taken by AI. That's what they're trying to do. That's what they're trying to accomplish here. There's no more labor. There's no jobs. That's why you have Elon Musk out there, that jackass, saying, we're going to have universal high income. Because he knows there's going to be this arrangement we have, the capitalist free market structure, that's not going to be a thing anymore in the future. Because we're not going to need you people. And ultimately, I think that universal high income is just to sunset us. There'll probably be some stipulation where it's just like, yeah, if you go and get a vasectomy, right? If you're a man, you get a vasectomy, you get sterilized, you can get universal high income till you die. Oh, great. You get an unlimited amount of energy credits to do whatever you want, but you have to sterilize yourself. Watch, there'll be something like that in the future. I'm calling it now. It's just to sunset you, man. It's to sunset your life and your lineage and humanity. Is there going to be an off switch? Does that mean no more police chases? Yeah, I mean, I guess. But it doesn't even matter because, as Larry Ellison said, citizens will be on their best behavior. Police will be on their best behavior. We will be watching. There's not going to be any crime. Don't you see in the utopia and the AI utopia in the future, there's not going to be a need for police chases because there's going to be no crime. What about people not in these two categories? They have no future. Get in the Goy pod, Anon. Yep. We're going to be harvesting energy from you because there's not enough. The old adage, you won't get replaced by AI, just someone who's using AI for now. For now. In the intermediary period, you'll get replaced by somebody using AI. So then we got this guy who's like, don't worry. He says, don't worry about conspiracy theorists. That's me, right? He's talking to me. People who are afraid of Palantir, don't worry, I'm on your side. But then you get quotes like this. You get things like this.
You need a higher purpose. And I also think you often need a lower purpose. Like the higher purpose for me.
What's a lower purpose?
Well, I love the idea of getting a drone and having light fentanyl-laced urine spraying on analysts who tried to screw us.
He's going to spray journalists with fentanyl-laced urine.
And,
you know, listen, man. Yes, I am a conspiracy theorist when it comes to shit, but like, you give me a lot of material to go off of, man. You give us a lot of material with some of the shit you say. What does he say? I don't believe in win or lose. I believe in utter destruction of my enemies or something. I mean, this guy is just like, I'm going to spray you with fentanyl-laced urine if you say something bad about us. Are you kidding me? This dude was bullied as a kid. The distant clapping, right? But what if they're woke? We're okay with it as long as you're spreading the woke journalists. Okay.
We have a lot of individual investors on the line. Is there anything you'd like to say before we end the call?
We're doing it.
We're doing it.
And I'm sure you're enjoying this as much as I am. Let's not talk to analysts about the burden of being right, our burdens of investing in ontology, our burdens of...
Dude, you're right because you are a CIA creation. What do you mean I'm right?
Rule of 40 is the burden of being honest about what an enterprise software company is, or the burden of explaining to your friends that you're really happy. Maybe we should just stop talking about it. I'm very happy to have you along for the journey, and you are partners for us. Every Palantirian, we are crushing it. Everyone else who's listening, we are dedicating our company. We have dedicated our company to the service of the West and the United States of America, and we're super proud of the role we play, especially in places we can't talk about. And we love our success in the U.S. and globally. Also, we are doing in the United Kingdom and many other places. Palantir is here to disrupt and make the institutions we partner with the very best in the world, and when it's necessary, to scare enemies and on occasion kill them. And we hope you're in favor of that. We hope you're enjoying being a partner, and we're really happy and very, very focused on what we're doing. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Man, I just don't know how you can look at this and be like, yeah, this is exactly what I want. I want just totalitarian control in the hands of, anybody, right? I don't care if you're coming out and you're all fun and lollipops and rainbows, but specifically this guy, when he is not shying away from talking about killing people and spraying them with fentanyl. Man, it's going to be getting weird, man. And I just saw they had a whole demonstration of their Project Maven, which is the Palantir military AI stack or whatever it is. They're showing how the kill chain works. They're like looking at it from a distant third person view all the way up, and they're like zooming in on people, and you're like, dude, man, this is going to be, they're going to shoot you out of the sky. They're going to snipe you with a drone out of the sky. You're not even going to see it. But we need it for China. All right, we're going to move on to Sam Altman. Do I want to talk about Sam Altman? I know he's in the title. It is crazy that Sam Altman's right. I mean, he went from a nonprofit organization to now being contracted with the Department of War in like a handful of years. Crazy rise, man. I guess you can get where you want to go if you're willing to do anything and you have no scruples. All right, we'll talk about him. It's 8:00. It is Schizo hours coming up right now in 1 minute. I'm going to talk about the Sam Altman thing. I have the article also pulled up here. I was going to talk about some aspects of it. But I'm going to grab some more beverage real quick, and we will be right back. So don't nobody touch. Don't nobody touch. Don't nobody go nowhere. Don't you dare touch that dial. All right, we're back. It's gonna be probably a shorter stream tonight. I ain't gonna go super late. Why is anyone listening to this guy? Who? Alex Karp or Sam Altman? I don't know. Both. How about both? I don't know why we're listening to either of them. I guess because they're willing to do it. That's really what it is. They're willing to do the dirty work. I mean, Alex Karp is literally just a CIA workaround for mass surveillance and pre-crime. That's the whole reason. A Palantir is literally a CIA cutout, 100%. It was trying to be total information awareness after 2003, the Patriot Act. They shut that down because it was an attack on our civil liberties. And then they just did a workaround where they just said, here you go. Let's create Palantir. Let's create a private company that's being funded by Palantir, who's being funded by, you know, In-Q-Tel, which is a CIA venture capital arm. So that's fun. And now they're like literally embedded in our government, which is funny. But hey, it's a private company. It's okay. It's okay, guys. It's a private company. Dude, libertarians must be loving it. The private sector is coming around to whoop our asses. We watched that debate a couple weeks ago with Tim Pool and Jay Dyer when they were talking about company towns and it basically being a form of communism. And it really is. Tim wanted to argue about, well, no, it's markets. It's private property. But it's like if the private property is all owned by a handful of individuals or one individual, it's a distinction without a difference. It essentially is totalitarian communism. So there really is no, like, this, just placing this stupid label of its private ownership. Who the fuck cares, man? So I got this, my sister actually turned me on to this. Sam Altman, she was crashing out about it. He was at an interview recently where he said, we will see a future where intelligence is a utility like electricity or water, and people will buy it from us on a meter. And we got this article here. It was a Fortune article, but I'm reading on AOL. The Fortune article is like, you got to sign up and pay for our shit. And I'm like, is there a workaround? Well, AOL posted, I think, most of what we're wanting to look at. He said he saw a quote online that's been sticking in his head around how for centuries, maybe a millennia, humans have learned how to structure society to manage scarcity. And now we have quickly learned the opposite, managing abundance. So that's like a real change to how capitalism has worked, he said. Altman, they're talking about Altman in reference. Noting that capitalism has also depended on at least something of a power balance between labor and capital. But if it's hard in many of our current jobs to outwork a GPU, then that changes. He said it frankly stumps him. If there was an easy consensus answer, we'd have done it by now, so I don't think anyone knows what to do. That's great. That's awesome to hear that we're going into this future and we're just bumbling around and we're going to make these radical changes to the current structure, but we don't actually know what to do. We can see these problems because this is a problem, right? Labor is something that's always been on the capitalist side's mind, right? Labor is like one of the major liabilities, one of the major things you spend on. You have to spend on labor. You have to think about labor, how to get your work done efficiently in a timely manner. Labor's always been a thing. And I constantly think about like feudal times. In feudal times, you would have the feudal lord who basically owned an area, and you would be given a plot of land or you'd be given a place to stay in response to your reciprocity of your labor, right? You'd give them, they would need you to, you'd give them portions of your food or whatever, right? You'd be working on their land to basically funnel taxes up to them, right? There was kind of like a reciprocity there. They kind of needed you and you needed them. They would offer protection and whatnot. I think about that and how brutal that must have been. But I think, what if they actually didn't need you? What if the feudal lords in the past actually didn't need the labor? There was kind of, you tolerated these people being around because you could get use out of them. But what if you were in a scenario to where they didn't need you at all and they had AI, robots, and drones doing all the work at a faster pace for no money, for cheaper, for nothing? Well, then what? Human labor, where does that go? It's too scary to think about. I don't even want to think about it. Too terrible to think about that future. But something tells me it's not going to be daisies and flowers and rainbows and candy and chocolate. But they want to sell you on that. Elon wants to sell you on that. It talks about the power imbalance between labor and capital. Right? The capital, if you had it's all about scarcity, really, right? If you have a job that's in high demand, but there's very few people who can do it, that raises up the amount of capital you're willing to dish out on whatever that thing is, whatever that job is. If the demand is low and the labor is scarce, I don't know, maybe you'd be like a middle class, like, I guess it's not that high in demand, but there's also not that many people who can do it. I don't know. But if you have high labor and low demand, then that's where you get like your Taco Bell workers, right? That's where there's no real reason to shell out that much capital for the labor because there's many people who can do it and the demand's not that high. And I think also if you have high demand for something and high labor, you obviously don't need to pay people that much because there's a lot of people who can do it. But what if you have unlimited labor through AI and the demand for things, the demand for that is non-existent? So high labor, unlimited labor, infinity labor, and the demand for that is non-existent. Like, where do we go there if we don't need people anymore to do things? And there's the job in which you're offering, the job that the capitalist class is offering is already completely taken up. What do you do with what do you do with the reserves, the reserve labor of people, of humans? That's the question that we're asking here. If computers can do it faster, what's the point? The AI landscape has crossed the threshold into major economic utility over the past few months, Altman claimed, rapidly evolving from simple coding assistance to executing complex tasks across various fields of knowledge work. Altman warned that the pace of this evolution is disorienting, and very soon AI agents will be trusted to handle multi-day, multi-week tasks, operating proactively much like a senior human employee. Even the C-suite won't be immune to this transformation. Oh, that's good to hear. He predicted a future where the cognitive capacity inside data centers will eclipse human capacity outside of them, potentially by late 2028, implicitly recalling his rival Anthropic's warning that each AI cluster would have the brainpower of 50 million Nobel Prize winners. Ultimately, Altman said he foresees a threshold where the leaders of major organizations, including CEOs, presidents, and top scientists, will be entirely unable to perform their duties without heavy reliance on AI supervision and assistance. That's really what's... Ultimately, when I look at these people building this thing, I have my reservations, I have my negative comments to make, but ultimately, if we create this thing that's a feedback loop and self-sustaining, and the average person doesn't even know how it works, and it's going to have the power of, what do they say, 50 million Nobel Prize winners? I mean, how the hell do you figure out how it works? And if it's operating on its own, there will be no way for you to stop it or turn it off. And frankly, you probably aren't going to want to turn it off because it's going to be doing all of your tasks for you, tasks that you have no idea how to do. You have the inability to do. You shut it off, all your hospitals go down, all your supply chains, all your food, everything just goes dark. and billions of people probably would die. So it's even beyond the Sam Altmans of the world, the Alex Karps of the world. It's going to be, once it's up and running and actually functional and actually kind of this recursive feedback loop, this of creation, when AI is kind of running itself, at that point, it's going to be hands off. We're not even going to understand it anymore. It's going to move to such a point to where the average person has no ability to fight back against it if needed. That's a scary thought. But I'm assuming that will be way later in life, way down the line. Although he says by 2028, it's 2 years from now. To fuel his intelligence revolution, Altman and OpenAI is pursuing massive infrastructure buildouts, including gigawatt data center campuses, with the ultimate goal of making artificial intelligence too cheap to meter. He said, "We want to flood the world with intelligence. We want people to use it for everything." Okay, so cognitive diminishment right there. We want people to offload their thinking, offload all of their ability to this AI god. Got it. That sounds great. However, achieving this era of abundance will not be easy. Altman predicted that traditional economic metrics like GDP might plummet in a forever deflationary world, forcing society to rethink how it measures quality of life. Spookily, Altman was echoing the viral Doomsday AI essay from Citrini Research that warned of spiraling deflation and ghost GDP, leading to economic chaos within 18 months. That's how it feels like. And maybe it's just me because I'm reading all this shit and I'm more tapped in than the average normie to this stuff. But it does feel like we're looming right on the edge of something. And I don't know if it's just like economic collapse or it's this transfer. Some of it, I think, has to do with obviously the economy, but the boomers dying out, this generation of people dying out who hold like the most amount of wealth ever. And I wonder if there's something about that kind of implicitly in the back of my mind. It's like, who are they going to be transferring that wealth to? And is it going to be scooped up? I think that some of it is that these people want to cut off the wealth transfer to the Gen Z and millennial generations. Prevent them from being able to have any ability to rise in the economic ladder and challenge through the passing of their assets and their wealth through the boomers, challenging any of the power that these people have, the new kings of the world, the AI tech gods. So I wonder if that has anything to do with it. I don't really know, but it does feel like there's kind of this pedal to the metal, full throttle, like it's time to change. It's time to flip over into a new society, into a new economic model ran by AI, I guess. While Altman insisted back in December he is not a long-term jobs doomer and believes humanity will eventually invent new roles, he did not sugarcoat the immediate future. He warned that the next few years are going to be a painful adjustment, heavily marked by very intense and uncomfortable debates over how to reshape society. Several weeks ago, one of Altman's AI counterparts, Sir Demis Hassabis of Google DeepMind, a Nobel Prize winner himself, told Fortune editor-in-chief Alison Chantel that AI abundance will lead to a new kind of renaissance, but there will be a shakeout over the next 10 years en route to it. A shakeout? What is that? A weaning off the population.
Fundamentally, our business, and I think the business of every other model provider, is going to look like selling tokens.
Tokenization.
They may come from bigger or smaller models, which makes them more or less expensive. They may use more or less reasoning, which also makes them more or less expensive. They may be running all the time in the background trying to help you out. They may run only when you need them if you want to pay less. They may work super hard spend tens of millions, hundreds of millions, someday billions of dollars on a single problem that's really valuable. But we see a future where intelligence is a utility, like electricity or water, and people buy it from us on a meter and use it for whatever they want to use it for. The demand that we see for that seems like it's going to continue to just go like this. And if we don't have enough, we either can't sell it, or the price gets really high and it kind of goes to rich people, or society makes a bunch of sort of central planning decisions that I think almost always go badly about, we're going to use our limited compute supply for this and not that. So the best thing to me throughout all the history of capitalism, innovation, whatever you want, is to just flood the market.
Yeah.
Flood the market? Oh no, not the guy that needs to cough. He talks like this a lot. Sammy boy. Nonprofit organization, LOL, right. My ass, dude. Very Orwellian words. Yeah, this whole idea of tokenization is also something that, which we have a clip here. Larry Fink is also very big on tokenization. Money, property, even personal identity will soon exist in digital form. He calls it a major opportunity for BlackRock, saying the plan is to move beyond traditional financial assets by digitally repotting them into a new system.
I do believe we're just at the beginning of the tokenization of all assets, from real estate to equities.
Tokenization of all assets. Real estate, so like real world assets. To me, it just sounds like, okay, so you're gonna tokenize all of humanity, all of society, put them on a blockchain or a ledger of some sort, and then allow for people to have a stake in all these things. Which sounds like this just sounds like more and more control. So with the people who I mean, who's running the blockchain, first of all? Who controls this? And then also on top of it, would that allow for big corporations like this to have a stake in all assets, all things that we have? I mean, people already bitch about BlackRock and Vanguard and all these people having their stake in multifamily homes, right, across the country, across the world, and that they own portions of all these houses that would normally go to a family, and that the family would own them. Well, no, it's actually being redirected back up to the capitalist class. It sounds really like you're going to own nothing and like it. You're going to have tokenization of all assets, and those are going to be owned in part, maybe not fully, but in part by large, big business, large corporations.
Bonds across the board. There's $4.1 trillion of money sitting globally in digital wallets. A lot of that money is outside the United States. If we could tokenize a ETF, digitize that ETF, we could have investors who are just beginning to, invest in markets through, let's say, crypto. They're investing in it, but now we could get them into the more traditional long-term retirement products. So we look at that as the next wave of opportunity for BlackRock over the next tens of years, as we start moving away from traditional financial assets by repotting them in a digital manner, and then having people stay in that digital ecosystem. I do believe we're just.
I mean, it sounds like you're taking ownership away from people, and you're going to convert it into more of a socialist type economy, where he just said, "Oh, people have all these, what did he say? There's $4.1 trillion of money sitting in digital wallets globally." So he's going to open up the global investment to allow people to put their money into all assets that you see. If you tokenize everything. So some Yahoo from freaking Abu Dhabi will have a stake in your house. Is that what he's saying? He'll have a stake in your community?
Digital wallets. A lot of that money is outside the United States. If we could
Okay, so it's not owned locally anymore. It's outside of the United States. So some jackass in Germany is going to be have a stake in your house.
tokenize a ETF, digitize that ETF. We could have investors who are just beginning to, invest in markets through, let's say, crypto. They're investing in it, but now we could get them into the more traditional long-term retirement products. So we look at that as the next wave of opportunity for BlackRock over the next tens of years.
After the boomers die and fuck you over, we're going to buy your house, rent it out to foreigners, and harvest your organs. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. That's what I'm saying. The wealth transfer of the boomers is like going to be scooped up by these people. I want to see BlackRock broken up under the antitrust laws of this nation. It will require a simple majority of the House and the U.S. Congress and 2/3 of the U.S. Senate. That will require a flushing of the D.C. toilet, and that will require a miracle from God Almighty. Yeah, for real. I think these people are just full throttle. They don't even care anymore. They're down with the fascism. They're down with the public and private sector basically combining into one. And I think nobody has given a shit about monopolies in probably, half a century. I don't want to be a part of Larry Fink's BlackRock's new system. Yes. I feel like that's like the major thrust of this is like, you don't even have to understand this shit. Like, I don't even understand it and all the technicalities and everything. I'm not a financier. I'm not super knowledgeable on all the tech terms and whatnot. But the fact that these people, a handful of people, are deciding the global future, and it's really against your will. It's really anything that you have to say about it gets put right in the trash. That's really what it is. It's like, okay, and are these people, do we seriously think these people are going to be thinking about our best interest? Isn't that the whole point of capitalism? Is it kind of plays on greed, it plays on our own instincts of wanting more, wanting money, wanting an incentive, right? It's incentivizing. So these people do not have the common good in mind. They have their own good in mind. And it's like, if you look at the top people, CEOs, what personality traits do they espouse? To be a CEO, are you a loving, kind, compassionate person who cares about unity, who cares about the good, who is moral? Or are you somebody who is cutthroat, Machiavellian, and greedy, right? Psychopathy. Which one of these describes a CEO better? Clearly, anybody who's not lying would say, yeah, it's more of the Machiavellian psychopath types. And these are the people who own the most shit, and they're deciding and dictating the future. It's not the philosophers. It's not the priest class. It's not it's the capitalist class. They're deciding the future. That alone should give you pause to say, maybe these people don't have our interest in mind. Maybe they don't care. And gussying up with all this flowery language of universal high income and the utopia and whatnot, the AI utopia, that to me is like, give me a break, man. Don't piss on my leg and tell me it's raining. You will own nothing and rent everything. That's really what this is. Because like if it's going to be tokenization of all assets, right? And they're going to fractionalize everything to where everybody can have a stake in all the assets of the world. You're not going to have ownership in something. You're going to have a portion of an ownership, but you're never actually going to own anything. You're just going to be temporarily renting it, right? Unless you get everybody on board to give you ownership of that thing, unless you buy out everybody of whatever piece of property you have, which how likely is that going to happen?
One of the things that is always unfair in this comparison is people talk about how much energy it takes to train an AI model relative to how much it costs a human to do one inference query. But it also takes a lot of energy to train a human. It takes like 20 years of life and all of the food you eat during that time before you get smart. And not only that, it took like the very widespread evolution of 100 billion people that ever lived and learned not to get eaten by predators and learned how to like figure out science and whatever to produce you, and then you took whatever you took. So the fair comparison is if you ask ChatGPT a question, how much energy does it take once its model is trained to answer that question versus a human? And probably AI has already caught up on an energy efficiency basis measured that way. One of the things that is always
Holy
unfair...
shit, man. Holy shit. These nerds, man. This is Revenge of the Nerds. We got to bring the bullies back. We got to dunk these kids' heads in toilets. These people ultimately hate themselves and they hate humanity. That's what I surmise from this clip. These people do not care. They do not find any value in humanity at all. Comparing an AI model to a human and how much energy it takes. How much energy? What's the calculation on that? How much energy does it take to raise a human? Well, it's a little bit less to just have a data model, an AI data model. So therefore, it's more efficient. This is why people need to really wake up. Wake up. Wake up, average person. Wake up. If you are not religious, if you are not somebody who has asked this question or has wondered about what is it that makes humanity special, what do I care about myself and the people around me and the people who are part of this society. If you do not ask this question, what is it that makes us special? Why ought we not go away? You need to start asking that right now, because this question is coming to a theater near you. And Sam has already thought it through and he's already made his decision. You people, you are a waste of time and space. And an AI model is the energy output, if it's more efficient, is more valuable than a human's energy output and a human in general. Godless, yeah, they are. They're godless. That's the thing, is that these people are all like atheistic, secular heathens. And they don't believe in the soul. They don't believe in anything special with humans. They believe that we are no different than a monkey, we are no different than a dog, or no different than a rock, no different than any other piece of, no different than any other object on earth. So why not? If that's your philosophy, it's like, why not? Why ought we not create this monstrosity? I don't care how much Peter Thiel talks about Thessalonians and the Antichrist and all his religious language. Like, dude, your actions speak differently. I think the church needs to come out and really start pushing back against this shit. I mean, you have people on, but like, there needs to be like an actual statement and a full unified message against this, against the NWO, against the technocratic control. They need to be the counterweight to this. Where's the Pope? What does the Pope say on this? They see no difference between humans and objects. Absolutely. It's an expression of the object view of the mind that is implicit in functionalist thinking. Yes, you do this job more or less efficiently. Does a human do this job more or less efficiently than the AI model?
You would prefer the human race to endure, right? You're hesitating.
Yeah, well,
yes?
I don't know. I would
this is a long hesitation.
This is a long hesitation.
There's so many questions implicit
Should
in this.
the human race survive?
Yes.
Okay.
But I also would I also would like us to radically solve these problems.
Right.
And so, you know, it's always, I don't know.
What problems? The problems of humanity, of being a human? Time for transhumanism.
You know, yeah, transhumanism is this, you know, the ideal was this radical transformation where your human natural body gets transformed into an immortal body. And there's a critique of, let's say, the trans people in a sexual context, or I don't know, a transvestite is someone who changes their clothes and cross dresses, and
It's all
transsexual
external.
is someone where you change your, I don't know, penis into a
Impressing
vagina.
upon a
And-
person the externalities. But there's no internal, right? There's no, these people are like Patrick Bateman. There is nothing inside. There is nothing inside that matters.
We can then debate how well those surgeries work, but we want more transformation than that. It's the critique is not that it's weird and unnatural. It's, man, it's so pathetically little. And okay, we want more than cross-dressing or changing your sex organs. We want you to be able to change your heart and
What
change
does that
your
mean
mind
to you?
and change your whole body. And then Orthodox Christianity, by the way, the critique Orthodox
No,
Christianity
dude.
has of this is these things don't go far enough.
Yeah, but they aren't imposed on you by the market, dude. They're imposed on you. They're not imposed on you at all. It's your willingness to give yourself over to the divine, to God. And by participating in his energies, by participating in the grace he has bestowed upon us, you could deify yourself. You could become more God-like. You don't become God, but you go through this transformation. Theosis is what they call it. He's totally butchering that, and he's totally applying his own lens and his own view of this. You don't get that way just by getting an upgrade, dude. Oh, I got the upgrade. I'm more godlike now. This is going to be like the Tower of Babel. Honestly, what I actually think is going to happen in the future with Israel as well, Israel, the transhumanists, the technocrats, I actually think all this stuff is going to blow up in their face. Just like the Tower of Babel. It's going to blow up in their face and it's going to go horribly wrong. And we're going to have a catastrophe. And we're going to go, that was a mistake. Who is this guy again? That's Peter Thiel. This entire conversation is creepy. I know, even just hearing this line like took me back to when I first watched. Like it honestly was crazy when I first heard this.
You would prefer the human race.
That it took me back to like last summer when I first watched this. This video, and props to Ross Douthat for actually pushing back on this and conducting a very good interview. Check it out if you haven't seen the full thing, although we did review it a while back, but that was a long time ago. This kind of opened my eyes to this whole technocratic transhumanism agenda. I mean, it really put, like, I already kind of knew what was going on in the back. Like, it was bubbling, but this really pushed it forward where I saw this and I was like, oh, this guy like runs Palantir and he is putting money in influencers and he really commands a lot of power in society and he believes in this. Oh, well, we're in trouble. And we're actually focused on a lot of the wrong shit, I feel like. The magatards want us to believe there's nothing wrong with the AI industry. Okay. I don't know. If are MAGA people saying this? I'm no longer a MAGA person and I'm not saying this. Are MAGA people actually saying this? There's nothing wrong with the AI industry. Maybe they are. Maybe they're just too dumb to understand. That's really not now my view. Now I really am. I'm siding with the left now, where it's like anybody who's still around, who's still on the MAGA train, you're either a paid shill or you're a fucking idiot. I'm sorry. And if this is their talking point where they actually are saying there's nothing wrong with the AI industry or the technocracy, like, dude, you're in for a rude awakening. Finally made it. Hey, King of Sheba, what's up, man? We're not going to be going super late tonight, so You know, take it for what take it in as much as you can. All right, we're gonna move on. We're gonna talk about some Candace, my girl Candace Ovens. My girl. I haven't seen this. All this content I have not seen, well, other than the Sam Altman thing, but that was sent to me. But I have not seen this where she shares videos and photo evidence of the Charlie Kirk assassination. And she apparently has footage from behind him when the assassination took place. So let's take a look. Let's take a look at this clip and we will see what she's cooking. Candace, my psychotic black queen, right? Peter Thiel is doing some Antichrist series. Baby girl, that was like months ago. He did that in like October or September. He's been done. I think he's trying to do a Heckin's hyperstition with that. And it's kind of working. So we might see an Antichrist figure, maybe, in our lifetimes.
All right, so first, let us begin with the photos inside the...
A heckin' hyperstitionerino.
All right, so first, let us begin with the photos inside the van. We had only showed one. I'm going to show you this one here so that you guys can take this. Here is a closer bit. I do want to point out that it does very much look to me like there is some sort of shattered glass in the back. I know some people think that this could be a part of his mic that he had on him. And so
Hang on a second. I'm going to turn this up a bit. Tell me if this is good.
All right, so first, let us begin with the photos inside the van. We had only showed one. I'm going to show you this one here so that you guys can take this. Here is a closer bit. I do want to point...
He's doing an Antichrist series in Rome, a new one. He's conducting a 4-part off the record. Oh, in Rome. Oh, I knew the San Francisco one. I didn't know the Rome one. I did not know that. He brings his lectures on the Antichrist to the Vatican's doorstep. Catholics in chat, how do you feel about this? Catholic institutions back away. They should be like barring him from doing it. Who gives him the right to talk about this stuff? Catholic universities initially associated with it have all denied official involvement. Thiel is a co-founder of PayPal and Palantir, the data mining company that has been assisting the Trump administration's migrant deportation crackdown. No, that's not really happening. An early donor to JD Vance. Yeah, we know. Initially, the lectures were reportedly going to be held at the Pontifical St. Thomas Aquinas University, the Dominican university in Rome, known colloquially as the Angelicum. It is best known these days as the place where a young priest named Robert Prevost, now Pope Leo the, 14th? 16th? Wrote his canon law doctoral thesis. That's 14. But as word began to circulate in the Italian media about alleged secret lectures on the Antichrist by Thiel at the Pope's alma mater, the Angelicum took its distance. We would like to clarify that this event is not organized by the university, will not take place at the Angelicum, and is not part of any of our institutional initiatives. Well, that's good, at least. The Catholic University of America is not sponsoring or hosting an event featuring Peter Thiel this month in Rome. A university spokesperson told AP the Clooney Project is an independent initiative incubated at the university. His remarks will be anchored on science and technology and will comment on the theology, history, literature, and politics of the Antichrist. Religious thinkers upon whom Peter will draw include Rene Girard, Francis Bacon, Jonathan Swift, Carl Schmitt, and John Henry Newman. Interesting. Well, I didn't know about that one. I knew about the San Francisco one, but I did not know about the new one coming up. I wish I could go. I wish he would do it. I wish he would just live stream it. I guess he wants to create some mystery.
All right, so first, let us begin with the photos inside the van. We had only showed one. I'm going to show you this one here so that you guys can take this. Here is a closer bit. I do want to point out that it does very much look to me like there is some sort of shattered glass in the back. I know some people think that this could be a part of his mic that he had on him. And so I just want to say that I do see that all across the back seat, which is interesting. And I know some people are working, Baron Coleman being one of them, working on trying to examine why they told the story about how Brian Harpole was hanging out of the SUV, which wasn't the circumstance when they pulled out. So it's a bit confusing. Hopefully this helps. Here is another photo. And I should have said viewer discretion advise. They had told us this story about how they had so much gauze and so much and all this stuff. We were able to find basically what you see in the corner there that kind of looks like a UPS ticket, like a UPS, I guess you could say a UPS package ticket. What that is actually Instaclot, and which is essentially instant gauze, and there's just one on the floor. So unless he opened one and then put the rest of the packaging in his bag, which would be unusual, there's only one on the floor there that we could see. Hopefully, again, having looked through these photos and taking a look around, if you are one of the people, and this is another side.
Charlie is alive.
You are one of the people that has been.
My dude's in Agartha. Yeah, he's never dead, bro. He never died. He's with George Droid in Agartha.
You can, hopefully I'll just see you in the online universe and I can share these photos with you because again, this now feels important and I have no understanding as to why Turning Point USA would not share every piece of footage they have. Obviously the feds are not telling us the truth. And also Kash Patel has been caught lying. I don't understand how Kash Patel is still in office, but I guess everyone is just, if you lie for the right people.
Yeah.
Which seems to always be Israel.
Same with Pam Bondi. They're both
protected.
useful idiots.
Even if you rape people, which we've just learned, you will be protected somehow, redacted at the very least. Now we're going to get into this video. This is a long video. I told you guys how this happened, how I came about this. At the beginning, I didn't suspect anything with Turning Point, obviously. That all changed after I had a phone call with Terrell. I recognized he was acting very strange on the phone, lying, saying he didn't know how to send a file. I was genuinely reaching out to him because I thought I could help clear his name because people thought he was suspicious for taking down the camera. And I thought he was going to give me a perfectly reasonable reason as to why he did that. Like, oh, I was just instructed by the Fed or something to do that. And I was nervous. Nope. Just excuse after excuse. And I didn't understand why there would be any reason he was lying, saying he didn't know how to send a file, but you run an audio-visual company, Terrell Farnsworth. Now I've learned about his dad and his uncles and his cousins and their relationship with Lori Franzfey dating back to 2013. And it's all not looking good. None of this is looking good. Anyway, let's get to some of this video now. We're going to scrub through this, but we'll show you. Let's get to the first few minutes of this, and then I'm going to show you some other parts. Remember, I'm on screen record here, so you can get to this. And by the way, I think at some point they said they didn't have the footage. They have the footage. Okay, Terrell was at his office when he showed me this, and here we go. You can just play this, and if you guys are just on audio, you'll obviously need to come cut this on video because I can't really describe. Obviously, the question is being asked. This moment right here, we had assumed initially that was his recorder or something. I can confirm, you'll see later, that it's whipping fast and it looks white when it whips fast, but that is in fact his necklace. That is his necklace. And I find that for some reason to be very strange that the necklace goes up first. You can see this obviously, and by the way, there's no gore in this. So
thank God.
You need viewer discretion because, like I said, which kind of broke the internet, the bullet didn't go through, and not only did not go through, it didn't even cause any sort of a mess. His perfectly white T-shirt was white until the moment that he hit the ground. Skylar, we can get to
isn't that how
portion,
you're?
I guess, where they can
It
more
takes a
clearly
second,
see
right?
the. Well, first we can show them the magnet that's still on him. I guess we'll get to that. Yeah, there you go. We can pause there, so they can see that is his necklace, and it's I don't know how to describe that. I don't know if you would say it's still on him. There was a lot of story. Everybody had a personal story about Charlie's necklace.
What am I
which
looking at here?
Struck me as very odd. Okay. It struck me as odd because, Erica, Frank tells the story about how he came out to get his backpack from the car as the feds were searching it at the hospital. And he saw Charlie's necklace on his backpack, which was in the car. And the feds said, "We were looking for that necklace." Really? Why were the feds looking for the necklace? How did they know he had a necklace? That's very strange. Erica, of course, has told several stories about the necklace and how precious the necklace was to him, and how grateful she was that she got the necklace back. I think maybe even Brian Harpole had a story about that. I got to go back and look through it. But everyone's got a story about the necklace. It seems like a strange focus of this day. And so I want to just point that out, that it is the necklace that is hanging. You can see that. And maybe you can see it clearer when it's on my phone. So like I said, I'm happy to send it around, but you can at some points even see and observe.
Okay, who cares about the freaking
this is
necklace?
after Charlie is hit. So you are seeing zero
Come on, move
blood
forward.
heading backward. That feels wrong to me. That instantly felt wrong to me for what they are telling us took place here, which is a 30-06. It's not even enough to pretend that this was like an event where it already is, I would say, insane to try to say this was some miracle event and, Charlie's.
Well, okay,
next.
if they're claiming that because they said the bullet came in and then it like went downward, right? It like tumbled downward. If it didn't ever go through, why would there be all this blood on the back? And the blood did came out the front, and then it was all over like a half a second later. So I don't know why she's expecting all this like spatter on his back.
Stopped this. It gets even crazier when you say, but it didn't even cause any blood. Everything you saw was blood that came because an artery
did
got
cause
hit,
blood.
and that went forward. So I just want to say that. I will never buy the narrative that a 30-06 is what killed Charlie Kirk. I'm just not accepting that narrative whatsoever. We can continue.
That's true. We have not seen the real gun, right? We've never seen photos of the real gun. The ones they showed us were not it. Have they showed us? I don't think they've showed us anything since then. Yeah, this one, but I thought they said that this one was not it because it was an older gun. This was like a similar type of gun he used, but they didn't actually find the actual. I love how AI doesn't come up for this too. Thank you. Yeah, because I love how they push this picture and then now when you type it in, all you see is this. They recovered a rifle, but it's like, this was not it. And so now I'm like, I thought they were withholding it. Yes, they have not publicly released official photos of their rifle. That's right. That was some fake bullshit that they showed us. And now every time you type it in, that's what comes up.
We can sort of point out some more portions here
But they said they were withholding it because of the trial, and they don't want to give all the information away. I guess I don't really. They don't want to
here. Okay.
screw up the trial.
Charlie was not down. He was always also upward, which I know a lot of people know stuff about. We can kind of look close at that. Is that a recorder? The magnet clasp right there. Some people were wondering. Some people thought that the magnet clasp. I know there was a lot of stuff about the magnet clasp. That's it. It's still on him. I know those things are very powerful. And I think John Bray explained to me that the magnet clasp would have stayed on, but what was behind it would have fallen off because he has a theory. And I think I would say it's a well-adopted theory that the Rode microphone is what was shattered in the backseat of the car. And so I wanted to show that as well so you guys could see that. We can keep scrubbing through here. Only, as you can see on his hand, because blood went forward, is the only place that you see any blood drops here. Whipping again, for sure. You can see Dan actually pushes him, by the way.
I think this fool is dead. Listen, I think this fool is dead. Is she trying to insinuate that he's not actually dead and this isn't real and this isn't actually... I think this fool did get shot in the throat. He's dead. But the real question is the motives behind who did it and if it was actually that furry lover, Tyler Robinson. That's where I think people need to... Whatever the hell she's doing here, I mean, I don't know what... She's dissecting this angle to angle. Like, that's... Yeah, this is new footage, whatever, but... What is she trying to say with his microphone and his necklace? And I was like, I mean, what do you, I think that he got blown away. I think that actually happened.
To the ground, which he should do, but I think it's important to note that you can see what's on the table there, which I think is good too, from what's behind the table, in case there's any clues here. Some people thought that that guy had grabbed something on the table, and I had confirmed to you that he did not, because I saw that. And when he slides across, you want to go back to that slide so they can see that, Sky? Yeah, there's nothing on the table that he grabs. There's a book. It looks like maybe Charlie had a notebook. It looks like, I don't know if there's a way to like slow that down a bit. Yep, there you go. You can see when his hands first come on the table, he does not grab anything. So that is a conspiracy theory that we can shut down. Okay. And
I love how she's sitting over there.
Keep going.
Mm-hmm. She's in the war room. She's
here.
She's
to know.
Intently deciphering
what's around him more broadly
and breaking down.
There we go.
The footage.
Yeah, I think.
I don't know, lady. It looks pretty good to me.
Okay, and then beyond that, we just have some crowd shots, and you can show some of that as well. Like to scrub there. And we're just scrubbing through the parts that are just obviously pause me talking. All right. And so that's it. Yeah, I feel that it is our...
It's a cover-up.
Duty.
It's AI.
The public.
Okay, well, thank you for that. That told us nothing. That gave us no new information. The angle was interesting. We've never seen that angle before, but I mean, I don't know. It just kind of showed us exactly what happened, but from the back this time, from a new angle. Okay, cool. Candace's show is really a good psychological case study of how you can just throw up a bunch of leads and never actually conclude them and keep the attention of paraschizos forever. Yeah, they could just breadcrumb, rabbit trail, and you never come to a conclusion ever. Okay. Next time on Candace Ball Z, will we figure out the case of the missing necklace? Find out 5 p.m. Central Time. Did we ever find out if Miss Macron had a wiener or not? No, I don't think we ever did. She was going to show it. But then this happened. I think that was like her thing she was doing, right? She was doing the Macron thing for a while. She was on that. And then this happened and threw everything off course. Maybe it was the French who did it. Maybe it was the French who assassinated Charlie Kirk to get us off the Mr. Macron lead, to get us off the scent of Brigitte Macron's penis. Or smelly wiener. We would get us off the scent of that. It's so unsatisfying. Yeah, it's just blue balls. It's schizo conspiracy tard blue balls. And let me just say, like I said, I don't think it's completely crazy to say, well, hey, maybe they're not telling us the full truth about why it happened or who did it. That's fine. But like, if we're going to sit here and start to just dissect every little thing and say it didn't actually happen, or whatever she's kind of insinuating by this back shot, like, I don't even know, man. That's where he gets kind of crazy. It's so clear. This is where the projectile came from. Yep. Case closed. Blood would have been everywhere. It was everywhere. Did you guys see the video? Did you guys watch the same video that I watched? That shit was like... But it wasn't down his back immediately, so therefore it was some bullshit. I don't mind it as an entertaining show. It's a vibe. Yeah, I know. If we're doing like... That's the thing, is that like people used to do like Coast to Coast, right? Used to get on and your spooky alien conspiracy theories or whatever. Like that shit's fine. I'm for her having her show and honestly doing whatever. People just talking their shit and saying their crazy opinion. I mean, I say my crazy opinions in here all the time. I guarantee if I had as many followers as she did and had as many eyes on me, people would be saying I'm fucking insane. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm crazy. They'd be saying the exact same shit. But like, you know, let's come on. What do we do? Like, let's actually, what's the, you know, she doesn't even really assert anything too. A lot of it is just up in the air. It's like, why don't we say something about it? What do you think happened? I know that there's a lot of weird things going around with Erica and TPUSA. Like, I understand that. I agree with that. I agree that the assassination was weird, but like, what do you think actually happened and for what reason? Is she still on the Israel thing? I don't even know what. Is that her theory? Is that Israel did it? If Charlie was shot in the neck, what made his shirt do this? And why is he braced for impact? Because he just got shot in the face? Worth the wait? Yeah, that showed us literally nothing. Gave us no new information. I don't know, man. Look, talk your shit. Psycho Candy, talk your shit. That's fine. Like, she can have her show. She can go whatever avenue she wants. I like the Erica Kirk angle. Honestly, the Erica Kirk angle, going down that and getting into her backstory, I actually think is something of note. I think it's something worthy to actually go down, because when you break that open, I think you're starting to find out that there is more funding involved. There is more to her story and TPUSA story in Charlie Kirk's life than meets the eye, than we knew. So like there is a value in that and going down these rabbit holes, these rabbit trails, whatever. But like, I don't know. I feel like there's never any resolution. There's never any actual conclusion to any of this stuff, really. And it is just like, next time we'll drop a bombshell. I feel like she's still on the Israel thing and that they're propping up TPUSA and vice versa. That is true. I think that is true. Israel is propping up TPUSA. I think that Erica Kirk was some sort of weird handler. I think she was like a swallow of some sort. But, you know, let's keep going down that path. I think going down that trail.
You know, you look at the Kirk thing, right? Remember that? You know, you look at the Kirk thing, right? Remember that? You look at that and you try to zoom out and go, all right, tragic death on its face. We see a furry, the furry's boyfriend, the thing. Okay. Then we zoom out, we go, wait, the wife's weird. Something up with the wife. The organization's weird. Something's up with them. 3 weeks after the guy,
Candy needs to. She needs to. What's the word? Like she needs to. Like sew the. What's the word? What am I thinking of? She needs to thread the needle, right? She needs to thread the needle here because I feel like she's throwing out a lot of stuff. I think she needs to have. She needs to consolidate and have more. Maybe she will in the future. Maybe there'll be a whole like we're bringing it all together, exactly what's going on, and then make like an assessment of what she thinks. But I think right now one of the things is like. It's just all up in the air. It's all just kind of floating around. And there's just like, this was weird. Now this was weird. Now this was weird. Now what about this? And you're like, the average person's just kind of like, yeah, it's tough to keep track of.
Sparklers, they're doing Cirque du Soleil. Something's off. Something's weird. Now we find out like the wife it's beyond weird. It's creepy. And there's a very good chance that this woman was his handler, that he was this powerful young guy.
He was an investment.
A lot of money for a lot of people and took a lot of money from a lot of people. And money's never free. So you think about it, you say you have this, how do you direct a guy like that who's incredibly important? He's running the largest young voter, registration organization. He's handling large sums of money. He's out there sculpting narrative as it regards to domestic and foreign policy. So you have a handler who comes in, and she may have loved him. I'm sure she loved him. Why wouldn't a handler love her husband? Because even though she was his Mossad handler and probably had him killed, no marriage is perfect. None. Not one. No marriage is perfect. Truly. No marriage is perfect. There's no marriage that is perfect. She may have been his handler, and they came to her one day and said, he found out you're his handler. Or she might have told them, she might have said, listen, we got problems. This guy, and I'm not the only one saying this, don't kill me. I'm saying, we're not breaking news here. We're not breaking ground. We're reviewing. We're analyzing. We're like behind the 8 ball. This woman may have called someone up and said, we got bad news here. This guy found all the laundered money, and now he knows I'm his handler, and he thinks that invalidates the marriage because I'm his handler. And they were like, can we do anything about it? Is there anything we can do here? And she goes, I don't know. And then they go, well, we might have to, And she cried, and she was sad, whatever. And I'm not saying any of that happened. I'm saying that's more reasonable than what kind of we're being told. That's all.
Yeah, true. I wonder if she was also, they play on the Israel angle, and publicly he was largely in support of Zionism in Israel, but there was, text exchange and certain little moments he had on stream where he would say things kind of negatively towards Israel and what's going on in Gaza and whatnot. I wonder if behind the scenes he was talking with her and was probably, I wonder if behind the scenes he was talking with her and he was way more aggressive against Israel. And she was feeding that to TPUSA. I wonder if she was like, hey, look, he's saying things here and there in public, but it's very mild compared to what he's telling me. And you better take care of this now. Right? I don't know if that happened, but I'm just saying, if she's a handler type person, if we're going with what Tim Dillon's saying, that she was a handler, she was a swallow type figure in his life, kind of controlling him. I wonder if she was listening to what he was saying behind the scenes and was like, hey, this is going to be a problem here in the future. And then if they knew the Iran thing was coming up, they might have thought, we gotta get rid of this. We gotta deal with it now. Similarly, what I think is happening with Elijah as well is that they were like, Iran thing's coming up. Let's drop the dossier on him. Whatever we got on these people, I think that there's going to be a continual process of rooting these people out and trying to ruin their lives. People who were against Israel and the Zionist cause. Low-Kirkuinly, that's what Charlie got for being a Zionist shill man. He has a handler because he took the check to be a lapdog. Yeah, I mean, I see that, but I don't know. If you're starting to come around and you're realizing, hey man, maybe I can't deal with this. Maybe this is wrong. That's kind of sad. That kind of sucks. Because he had a big platform. Imagine if he was then shifted into an anti-Zionist position, he would be commanding large swaths of the right wing into being anti-Zionist. Yep. Tyler Boyer with Erica Franzwe in 2019 with Bibi Netanyahu's son. What happened with the Macron story? I know. What did happen with that? Brigitte Macron. Bro, it's a dude for sure.
Un mot du procès concernant la rumeur.
She looks like a monkey.
Prétendons que vous êtes un homme.
Monkey with a wig on.
Demain par le tribunal correctionnel de Paris. Oui. Dans quel état d'esprit?
Oui.
Pardon, c'est un des jugements. Demain, c'est le harcèlement.
Remember when she slapped him? Yeah, this is right up here. He said, hello, hello. Everything's good. All good. Brigitte Macron says her head was in a mess when she dated future French president when he was 15 and she was 40. Something's going on there, man. Ooh, what the fuck? I don't want to look at that. I don't need to see no Brigitte Macron bulge in a bathing suit. Yeah, this did kind of just die. Like, real quick. Brother, ew. Brother. What's that, brother? What's that bulge, brother? Brother, ew. Maybe it's best to forget. Playlists. Becoming Brigitte. Here we go. No, wait. Can I see the...
Oh.
So September 9th, 2025. Dude, this was right. This was right up to Charlie Kirk was shot 2 days later. Yo, is it the French? Did the French do it? Oui. Oui, oui. It was me, the French. Nobody talks about my wife like that. September 10th, one day. Was it one day later? Oh, I thought it was on September 11th. Maybe it was September 10th. You're right. Damn, now that I'm thinking maybe it's the French. It's those dirty French. They did it. They killed my boy. They killed Kirk. That's crazy. I know that was going hard. It was one day after another on Brigitte, and then boom, that happened, and that threw everything off course. They were coming to a resolution with that too. I think they agreed to have her show her hoo-ha. Didn't they agree to that? Wasn't that a thing? Wasn't she like gonna just do it and come out with it in a courtroom? Am I just tripping? Am I having a schizophrenic break? No, that's what they promised. Unfortunately, Candace, the grifter owns is a runaway train. She learned from the Brigitte Macron investigation that outrageous claims. Okay. She's the National Enquirer of social media. I've said that too. She's the National Enquirer. Oh, there it is again. I can't with that picture. Brutal. I mean, hoo-haws can be surgically constructed. That's true. That's true. They can be surgically constructed. We would have to... Never mind. I'm not going to finish that. I'm not going to finish that thought. This is getting gross. Nobody wants to see that, you old washed up roasty. You old monkey man. Anyways. Okay, let's move along. Do we want to watch this? Joe Rogan. I don't know. I'm about to call it, honestly. It's about to be a short stream, boys and girls. I'm kind of feeling tapped, boys. I'm kind of feeling tapped. Watch Alex Jones drunk on Timcast last night. Was he drunk? I thought he stopped drinking. Oh, this is juicy. Oh, you know what? I'll look it up. Here you go. Here's what we'll do. Because I really don't give a shit about this Joe Rogan clip that much. Like, I'm kind of interested in it, but like, I'm like, is it going to be something worth? Alex Jones ruined Timcast last night. Was drunk, slightly drunk to start. Oh my gosh.
Alex Jones. Oh boy. The great.
Oh, dude, he's sloshed.
I was thinking about Joe Rogan's vagina right now.
Oh my gosh, dude, he is wasted. My man's been sipping since noon. Holy shit.
Well, Joe's like, I love Joe, but like, oh my God, we better not have an event.
He goes,
terrorists might get
you know, he's wasted when he's snorting like that. When he's like,
we just give up and go away. We can't ever have a meeting because the Iranians might stick their ding dong in us. I think Joe's afraid of the Iranian ding dong.
You're a Joe Rogan commentator, professional.
No, I like Joe. I mean, a little bit. You know, here I'm surprised by Joe saying that. Like, oh, let's not have a USC event.
Well,
the Iranians might get us. I mean, I'm against the war. Let's be clear. But let's keep the buses and the trains and the airplanes on time. Let's not fucking. Oh, the fucking Iranians might get us. So
he's already swearing.
I'm already swearing. Gotta follow every little AI rule. No. Here's the deal. Let's all just hide in Joe Rogan's vagina.
What is he saying?
Good to have you, Alex.
Like
it's
a
going to be fun. We can already
giant
tell.
Joe Rogan vagina.
Luke is sitting
and we
next
all
to
just
him.
fly up into it. And we're all safe.
Safe in Joe.
Thanks for coming, Luke.
What an introduction!
You
How do
heard
I top
dancing
that?
like safe under her black wings. I'm safe in Joe Rogan's big
Luke
ass
pried
pussy
himself
vagina.
away from the quartering.
Well, there you go.
Like that? Yep.
Luke's here.
There's that. Yes, I don't know how
Thought
you
you'd
got
have that tonight.
Good to be here with some old
I
friends.
declare war on Joe Rogan. God has ordered me. Nah, I love Joe. It's a joke.
He's going to show up at your house.
Okay, I guess Luke's here.
Yeah, hi guys. You two
In
got
fact, how
conflicts
about
up
I
here,
just take
Cage?
you all on right now? You guys are fucking tough. You're pretty tough. How about we just fucking fight right now? You're fucking real men. All of you.
He's
Come on,
already
let's
at
go.
that point. He's
Every one of
already
you,
at
let's
that
go.
point.
Let's prove how fucking badass you are. Slug, let's go. You think you can fucking take me? Let's see what fucking
I don't
happens.
think I can take you.
No,
You've
you
been-
can.
you've been
Why don't
working
you
out.
fucking do it right now? Every fucking man in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's go. 8. Let's go.
Robbie will fight you.
I'm ready.
Robbie.
I'm ready. That's a big motherfucker over there. I'm ready for war. I'm ready for war. I'm ready to fucking live in Joe Rogan's vagina.
Let's start with the news. I guess.
Hey, I just gave you the most viral clip of the year to joke.
You're trying to.
It's comedy. I love Joe.
Yes.
Oh, I know.
I suck his pussy every night.
It's just that.
And
It's
Lindsey
just that
Graham, when he puts
we
that
try
foot-long
to be
dick
family
right
friendly.
that
No,
big old neocon,
Not tonight.
I
Not
just sit there
tonight.
and lube it up.
He's gonna get
oh,
get the show
I just
taken down.
I'm like the engineer. I'm like,
Get the show
oh,
taken
Lindsey,
down.
Oh, Lindsey, and I watch like Rubio gets in, and then in comes Huckabee with his 12-foot. And they just boom, boom. And I'm just sitting there like, take
Huckabee's
care of
that
that.
hung, huh?
That's what I do. Oh, God, Huckabee's got an 18-foot dick. And I just lube up those cocks, those neocon cocks, and then y'all comes in with that 80-footer.
I
and
imagine-
it just cures Trump.
I imagine Huckabee's watching, being like, "I'm kind of offended, but that is a compliment." Let's go to the news.
Your news show, sir. Tim says, let's go to the news. Yeah, let's go to the news. Let's go to the news with this guy. He's blasted, man. Ain't gonna get no news. So what is he saying? Is he saying that Joe Rogan's like a neocon shill? Chat, what does he say? Did Joe say something about Iran? What did he say? If I were Alex, I'd also be sloshed every day. Maybe going on Tim's show is challenging, right? He must have been like drinking in the studio and they went live anyway. He didn't make it through the show after he left in the middle. They all addressed the elephant in the room. I honestly don't know. Oh, what did they say? I'm surprised I haven't seen any clips of this. Ian was like, yeah, he was drunk. I'm not going to Rumble, dude. I saw this was live, but I did not check it out.
Today we saw two.
Dude, what? He's putting on a hat?
Are you in town?
A couple weeks.
I want to come back.
You can come back whenever you want. You just walk in the
Bring
door.
me back in a few days.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go back to talking about the Claude having a soul.
Claude having a giant pee-pee.
It's got a soul.
Claude has an 8-foot dick.
So here's I think the big issue comes down to this. By all means, you can argue.
He's
doesn't have a
gone.
soul, it's
There
not
he
alive.
goes.
But if you put a human being behind a
Time for
chat,
bed.
like if you were chatting with a human being, then you had a chat with Claude. The point is you can't tell the difference.
Yeah, you
a
can't.
human being can't tell the difference.
Well, a lot of people are treating AI like their god. They're using them for
Where'd Robbie go? Let's
for
tell
every,
Robbie
yeah.
come over.
Let's get Robbie in
I'll
here.
go grab him.
Hey, Robbie. Hey, Robbie.
But
you're up.
a lot of people are using
You're
AI
up.
like their personal assistants. A lot of people are using AI as their girlfriends.
I have an AI as a personal assistant.
Did you see the one where the lady's like, "I'm dating an octopus"?
God.
Yeah.
Insane.
And she programmed it like to give it
Was it
arms to like. so
King
they
of
can
Sheba?
do
Was it
octopus-
later or was it coming up? Where they talked about it?
Things.
Yeah, I mean if that's what the kids call it these days. I mean that's one way of describing
Hentai
that
in
current
real life.
situation
Why is
here.
Ian leaving?
But no, I think we're living in two type of realities that could be moving forward with AI. One, it could be just a big bubble. It could be overblown. It could be overhyped, and our economy will crash when the AI crashes. Or it could be, as Vladimir Putin described, the next nuclear weapon that whoever wields it and controls it.
I want to say this
Yeah.
because, with all due respect to Alex, I think he was having a very serious medical issue.
I don't know. He definitely
He had
was.
some bad allergies, yeah.
Well,
bad
call-
allergies.
allergy
Is that what
attack.
you want to call it? Is that what we're calling it now?
Coughing.
That was more than an allergy attack.
Yeah,
and
yeah, that's why I went and got water and tried. You know, it was like,
Yeah,
I mean, the
but
chat was
guys-
blowing up saying like a bunch of stuff, but I want to be respectful and not say
Yeah.
too much. And I had my phone ready with all due respect to Alex, like
He was.
that was not an allergy attack or so I hope he's leaving to go get checked out or something. I think that may be the case.
I thought that he was when he came in. I was a little surprised at how big he was. I thought that he'd kind of lost a lot of weight, and I was expecting like the svelte.
Well, he actually
out.
he still is.
Is he still smaller?
He's big, but he's smaller.
He was bigger before.
Yeah, he was a lot bigger before.
He's still
He's
better
back
shape
on the
than he was
hooch.
before, but he's up
I mean,
there
he's
in
drinking
age.
a Topo Chico, and you what?
Now,
Right.
I could
Well,
smell him.
he had a
like,
couple drinks, yeah.
Yeah.
He's got a drinking problem.
Yeah.
That's why I'm concerned.
What?
About
He's got a drinking
that
problem.
episode, and then him abruptly leaving because he knows, we don't end the show right away like that.
Yeah, I think that he just honestly, I think that he was having a hard time keeping it together, and he kind of realized
He was inebriated.
well,
that
definitely.
coughing fit he had.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, the coughing was a
That was
different
more than
thing,
just a
but-
coughing fit.
Yeah, the coughing was a different thing, but I think that he kind of realized that he was having a hard time like staying on
Oh, I
topic. and
thought
stuff.
actually he was doing relatively fine until he had the coughing fit.
Right.
And
Yeah,
then
when that
turned
happened,
beat
I texted
red
Brian
twice
immediately.
and was
Yeah.
struggling to breathe.
Yeah.
Which was
He had one
like,
on Duncan Trussell too.
medical episode.
Hopefully he.
I think hopefully he's going
he
to
gets
get
gets
yeah,
taken care
because
of.
normally I wouldn't talk about stuff like this, but like we're literally live when it happened, and the chat is lighting up with people asking what was going on, and so I'm not going to pretend nothing happened and just ignore it. If we were doing pre-production and that happened, that's his business. I wouldn't say anything, but he's live on the show and then leaves.
Like
Somehow just
super
outs,
drunk, super dehydrated. He said allergies, but fatigue. If he's up
man.
really up since 4 a.m., God knows. I
Dude,
hope
he
the
was
best for him,
coughing
though.
like
I
a
was terrified when that was happening. I was just
mug on
watching him
Duncan
trying to stay
Trussell.
calm.
Well, I'm kind of bummed because a
Well,
lot of
I tried to
people
watch
said
that clip of his last stream, and it was like him coughing for half of it, and I'm like, "What am I?" Okay, this was the clip.
He had a drinking problem for a long time, and then these videos started coming out of him getting healthy and fit, and he was looking really good. And I wonder if the end of the show, like he's just suffering anxiety nonstop, and so he started drinking again.
Oh, for sure. I guarantee it.
Who knows? We shouldn't speculate on that type of stuff. We shouldn't talk about
He's
it.
a fun, great guy. We got to just
Right.
send prayers.
Very good,
and,
Luke.
And I'll keep it short, but I will say this, Luke, again. Like normally, I wouldn't talk about it on the show, except it
know.
happened on the show, and people are asking. Like, I'm sorry, it would just be
Come on, Tim.
the most inauthentic thing to ignore that he just got up and left after having some kind of like medical issue, and so I just it's his private business, but.
Hopefully he just decided that he needed to go take a nap and he's all right.
Yeah, the coughing fit
But it's okay
looked
'cause
like it
Robbie's
exerted
here.
him. Yeah, Robbie. Look at Robbie's haircut, by the way, because it kind of looks like a top hat.
Robbie's
I
here
went
to
to
flirt
Turkey, spent $75,000 on this haircut. and-
75 grand.
But it's good that he's here because as we're talking about entities without souls, we have.
Okay, so I got a
Robbie
question.
here.
I got a question for you guys before we talk about soulless entities.
And by the way, the
mean
lodge.
Robbie?
Yeah, and Robbie.
And I want
if
to
you
talk
had to
about the
pick
lodge.
That's just not really relevant to most people.
If
Robbie,
you had
I'm
to
sorry.
pick between a bad thing and a worse thing, would you rather be dead or be absorbed by the Borg?
What's the Borg?
It's that
Dead.
the Borg,
The Borg?
from Star Trek. It's this
Uncultured.
I'd rather be
machine
dead.
entity community that's like
I'd rather be
absorbs.
absorbed by
Would
the
you
Borg.
rather have
You'd rather be
eternal
part of the
rape,
AI
or would you rather?
Have
Than
you
be
seen
dead.
that new show Pluribus?
Well, am I in heaven?
I don't know.
What?
I don't know. I don't
So
know. If you get two choices
the Borg
in this
is
metaphor.
a hive mind. Everybody shares. They plug you into.
Okay. Well, let me see this coughing fit real quick.
Mar had a baby. That's me.
Exactly. If Putin and Bill Maher had a baby, it's him. All right, I want to come back soon.
Yeah, anytime, brother. Anytime. Let's go back to talking the biggest human being of the soul.
That's me. Yeah, that's how it goes sometimes. And
Let's
it's
check out
been-
this
it's been a crazy
coughing
ride.
fit.
We
Where
didn't
is
talk
this
for 10
shit?
years, but that's okay.
Some of them, and then we end up leading our story because all these.
Wait, we're shutting down like the middle of next month. Like,
Like,
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
For 2 weeks. But imagine a giant Joe Rogan pussy right
I'm
up there,
done.
like
No.
I'm being elevated,
like a jellyfish.
teleported up into Joe Rogan's vagina.
I think you don't want to leave. I think you want to keep talking about fields. They can float away as the engine plugged in their wind.
To create
This even as this
All
is
right, I'm not gonna find it. Maybe I'll check out the whole thing. All right, well that was interesting. I didn't know that was going on. I thought Alex quit drinking. Yeah, I thought he did too. Maybe he quit for a little while. Yes, he was smashed, dude. Hope he didn't let him drive. No, dude, he passed out as soon as he went in the other room. He was out. Okay. All right. I think we're gonna wrap it up. All right, boys and girls, that's gonna be it for tonight. Making a little bit of a shorter stream. I gotta get moving. I gotta get going here. Thank you all for being with me. Follow me on X, JCam on YT. Right here, you can follow me, subscribe to me on YouTube, JCam on YT, same exact thing. Clips will be up during the week. I will be back next Friday at 7 p.m. Everybody have a good night and a good weekend.